Hey everyone, welcome to the Wheels to Walking Podcast, a podcast with a guy in a wheelchair and a guy not in a wheelchair.
What up?
Yo, do you guys actually like that intro? Because we might be able to figure out a way to make Andrew sound a lot cooler than saying, what up?
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes you just got to say, what up?
What up? I actually like that a lot. That's one of my favorite goofiest things, like a joke I can just throw at you.
Yeah,
well, if you guys have noticed, we are again on a computer screen through Zoom doing the podcast remotely because
not again. We didn't
building...
do Zoom last time. We only did audio. We didn't show them the video.
Yeah, it was Facebook.
That's right. We didn't do it that way. We did audio only because we were separated. We are still separated, but doing audio and video now is what I'm trying to say.
Yes. So we're not in the same location, but we are on video, which is very exciting for us. And this is the first time you'll be able to see AJ on the podcast, which is cool. Say what up over there, AJ.
What's up, guys? This is what I actually look like, and I'm actually in this room right behind me.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm
an actual producer.
Yes, and I'm actually in the studio, in the Wheels to Walking studio. I'm actually 6 feet away from Richard. He just happens to be sitting in the normal AJ spot, so yeah.
I'm in the AJ spot. My computer is so crap that it can't do these green screens like they have, and so I've got my painting that everyone has seen a million times whenever I do Q&As behind me.
Yeah, if you're listening to the audio only, basically we're on a Zoom call, and on Zoom there's this feature where you can make a green screen where it removes the background and you can put whatever you want in the background. So if you're watching, there might be some funny little Easter eggs. Me and AJ can switch our backgrounds dynamically. So unfortunately, Richard cannot do that. His computer is not powerful enough.
I know. It's a tragedy. And it's such a bummer because last week we were able to do an in-person podcast because we were very precautious about, coming in and out of the apartment and being really clean and changing clothes and shower and laundry and the whole thing. But this week, yesterday, in fact, I learned that someone in my building was diagnosed with COVID, and I think it would be irresponsible to have people coming in and out of my place when the halls and the elevators and the common areas have the potential to be contaminated, or there's people in the building that have the potential to have interacted with her and might be asymptomatic. So I'm also taking extra precautions where I'm going to be probably having people deliver stuff to my door. I had a NOS come through, and he was really helpful, and I just put my trash outside the door, and he came and grabbed it and threw it away. But I feel a little bit crazy for going this extra mile, but it's like I got a confirmed virus potentially outside my door. So
yeah, there's people in your building that have it, or there is a one person in your building that had it, and she's not there currently. She's at the hospital, right?
She's at the hospital, but the thing is, currently, I mean, she didn't live on the same floor as me. I don't recall the last time I saw her. They deep cleaned the whole building and all the common areas, and then all the people that did interact with her, like including the front desk staff, decided to they had to go home because they interacted with her. So it's crap, but it is what it is, and I just gotta pretend like I'm Rapunzel locked up in my castle or something.
You look like Rapunzel.
I know. Look at my beautiful hair. Speaking of hair, I'm gonna complain for a minute. These blood thinners are making me lose my hair. I'm done complaining.
Well, there you go. And also, your hair in the last video did not look so sweet.
It, my swoop fell down.
I think in the podcast it looked pretty okay, but then once we did the merch video, because we did a whole podcast, and then we were launching the merch the next day, so we recorded that little reaction and extra part for the main channel, and I think that was where your hair looked extremely fucked up.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad that I have some really good professional photographs to use for my social media, and even if I get an interview in a magazine or something like that, I've got good high quality photos to send in. And yesterday, Andrew and I got some really cool news. There was an interview that I took 2-3 months ago. I'd forgot about it, honestly, and Wheels to Walking was put on the cover of New Mobility magazine, and Andrew and I are
which is
so stoked
one of the
about it.
biggest magazines, right? That is one of the biggest magazines for wheelchair stuff?
So it is the magazine. So it is as old as I am. It's 31 years old. And it's the magazine for active wheelchair users. So we are now kind of doing what they did in digital form, or I'm sorry, in print form, now in digital form. So there's a lot of people tied to the industry, and it's giving Wheels to Walking a lot of credibility. And I am very, very grateful for Brooke, the person who took the time to write it. I'm super grateful that we got to be alongside, you know, two other incredible social media influencers, or two other couples, you know, Squirmy and Grubs and Cole and Charisma. So that was really cool, man. But it was the article is called Beyond the Scenes, and basically she interviewed all of us about the business side, like how to turn this into a profession, like how to make money doing it, like, you know, our strategies, our techniques, yada yada. And it was really cool because no one has really ever seen that side of Wheels to Walking before. Yeah, except for like Andrew and I, you know, and then, you know, Kat a little bit, because she, you know, in the very beginning, like, helped us set it up. But like we're not here to joke around. We're not here to mess around. And this is credibility of that, because the story is so well written. Like, I'm so grateful it was written. Like, what do you? I mean, are you stoked about how they represented us and how they represented you?
Sure.
I thought it was
By the
really
way,
cool.
if you guys are wondering why my temporary merch is weird, this was a misprint that we did in the very beginning. So the temporary thing on the sleeve is on the underside of the sleeve instead of on the top part. So I've got two temporary things on this sleeve on this hoodie. This was like one of the prototypes.
Yeah.
So if you're watching the video and wondering like what the fuck, but anyways, yeah, I really liked the article a lot, and I liked how they represented ourselves and everything. I was actually gonna pull up. I can do a screen share. I've got the article pulled up right here, but there was this one part that was kind of cool where it talks about like how we got put together. Let me try to find this real fast.
Is that the one where I talk about the bribe or whatever?
Yeah. Let me try to share my screen real fast.
Yeah, for those interested,
you guys see this?
while Andrew's getting that figured out, is if
you guys can see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you want to go to newmobility.com and just check out the article at the very top.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Where's the part where it talks about me? Yeah, here we go. So it talks about how we met. It says Corbett found the perfect person to help him realize that vision in Andrew Deitch. The two met when Corbett was a guest on Deitch's podcast. I'm gonna switch the names. So when Richard was a guest on Andrew's podcast, it was during that first interview I had with Andrew that I opened up publicly about my disability, my past, and my addiction. He says it's a story I hadn't told before, and it was a huge step for me. All of a sudden, I felt like I do have a unique angle to share with the world, and now I have a way to do that. Way to do it that people seem to dig.
Yeah, and, there's a lot like of really good nuggets and things that were written about the both of us. And
yeah, AJ, I can totally see you. By the way, I'm on gallery view.
Oh yeah.
I won't put AJ on blast. I'm just I can literally just see AJ.
Everyone, thanks for being so patient with us as we figure out this online. We don't even really know like what this is now. Is this now like the H3 podcast where we have stuff on screen and you all see it? Like we're just trying to.
But yeah, it's still audio first for sure. But I just thought pulling it up would be kind of cool. But yeah, and then you also said I wanted Andrew to come on as my Wheels to Walking partner because he's talented and helped me find my inspiration. I knew he wanted a podcast studio, and I had an extra room, so our collaboration started basically as a bribe, adds Corbett with a chuckle.
That's true, though. I mean...
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Man.
Yeah, so the
that's
article
one of my
is pretty
favorite
awesome.
stories is like... one of my favorite stories where I was just like, hey, man, like, I want you to be around me more hours of the day so I can dig into your brain and try to figure out what's in there so I could get better at what I do. And then it turned into like so much more. All I was trying to do was get him to hang out at my house more. That's all I was trying to do.
Yeah,
it worked. I was like, all I need you to do is just like spend more hours at my house. I want more time talking to you and like learning from you. And it was really cool.
Yeah, it definitely worked. That's for sure. But
one of the things
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say one of the things I think I like the best about our relationship is that we're so willing to learn, and we're also like willing to teach each other.
Yeah.
And like grow and develop, and it's pretty awesome. And you know, if you guys, honestly, I'm not even joking right now, if you guys want to see like a legitimate like version of how Andrew's brain works creatively, go look at his Instagram grid and check out the effort. 16 pictures, is it right, Andrew? 16 pictures?
It's not done yet, but
I mean, I know it's not done, but so far he's managed to interlace and collage 16 pictures in a way that you have to plan 4 pictures in advance, basically. Like, it is some insane person's view of, like, beauty. It's so cool. Like, you guys just have to go check it out. Like, go to his Instagram and don't click on a single picture. Just look at the grid, and then you can go look at each picture.
Yeah, I can share it on my screen, kind of. On the browser view, it's not as cool, but you can kind of get the idea of how it's, like, all the pictures linked together. So when you're looking at the full profile, you're basically looking at like one cohesive image. So all the pictures are like, when you look at the grid, like when you're looking at the, the 3x3 kind of thing, you can see that all the pictures are a collage of like Polaroids and stuff. And it was pretty complicated. I'm not going to lie. I started it in August. And I've just
started
now...
it with the video series, didn't you? It started with the You'd Rather Be Dope in
Well,
Real
I
Life
was
than
trying to
Dope on
figure out how to
Instagram.
make this transition between, just having a normal grid and a normal feed and transitioning it to something else. And I thought it would... I got inspiration from this one guy. I think his name is like Leviticus or something like that. Yeah, this guy, Leviticus. I'm showing it on screen if you're watching the video. And he has a really dope feed where he had kind of the same theme going on. So see how he has like the paper kind of thing, and he had these Polaroids. And I just love this concept of having like a feed that was, unified in a way that was just so unique. Like I hadn't seen anyone do it to this level. Like AJ and Richard, you can see this, right?
Yo, I hope this page doesn't get us demonetized. There's
there's a lot of butts on it.
It's an art page. Like it's really pretty pictures. Like good. It's good photos. It's artistic, but it's definitely like scandalous a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't think we'll get demonetized for it. We'll see. But yeah, this guy has a lot of followers. He has like 13.7 followers, and but he hasn't posted since June of last year.
It reminds me a lot of the type of like this aesthetic, this vibe reminds me a lot of like art kid vibe, like art school vibe. Like
yeah, definitely.
Like you have to like go extra outlandish and like extra interesting with like your photo and your costuming and your editing and the lighting and the I don't know.
Yeah,
it's really,
the thing that's hard about all this is you also have to still figure out a way to make each individual square interesting enough to like perform well on people's actual feeds,
What's the big
challenge.
strategy? What's the big strategy? Is there a strategy, or is it just for artistic? Like, is it just for beauty,
me?
or is there actually a strategy to it?
I just think it's cool. I've always like this is one thing that I realized about myself kind of recently is I love like pushing the limits of like a platform. So like for example, what we're doing right now on Zoom, like, putting these different backgrounds on so that it looks like we're in a different environment or, like basically pushing the limits, like with GIFs and stuff like that, like creating GIFs that, are of my face. So then on Instagram, I can customize my own stories and make it look like, I'm in them or whatever. Or
for those of you that don't know, if you type in Andrew Deitch or Richard Corbett or Wheels to Walking or basically any of other Andrew's clients, you can see like really high quality animated GIFs. It's really cool.
Yeah, I make GIFs for like different companies and stuff like that. A lot of GIFs.
You should pull it up on your Giphy right now.
That's what I was about to do. I've got 1 billion GIF views, which is crazy.
And a lot of people don't understand how big of a deal that is.
I mean, it's 1 billion views.
Till they understand how big of a deal it is.
Yeah, so these are...
Look, there's Cat!
Yeah, have you ever seen that one? It's pretty funny.
I don't think so.
It's her going like,
funny.
no. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But basically, you can... I was able to kind of like hack the system and figure out how to get, my GIFs ranking, and I've had tons of big time people use them. I've had, people like David Beckham use them. I've had like Wiz Khalifa used one of my GIFs one time when he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. Like, it's nuts. And
yeah, there's a lot of really good GIFs.
Yeah, like I'm logged in
I even have GIFs
as
on
Mind
here. It's
Pump.
crazy.
They have 119 million GIF views on their stuff. This one GIF has 32 million views. And it's just a guy clapping saying, "Let's go, let's go." Actually, AJ made that GIF, I think.
I made pretty much all of these.
Yeah, AJ made all the Mind Pump GIFs. Shout out to AJ.
What up, AJ? Holla.
Yeah.
These are pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yo,
but
speaking of pushing,
well, I wasn't completely done with that subject, but like the thing
we're talking about the pushing
Yeah,
platforms to the
yeah.
limit. Yeah.
What were you gonna say then? I didn't know if you were
I was just
switching
saying,
topics.
no. I'm saying, speaking of pushing platforms to the limit, like the end screen that you've built recently is like.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. That was like one thing that I think I realized too is like, I like the idea of pushing the boundaries of what the platform can do, and with the end screen on YouTube, you're able to put like different elements on the screen, like click the next video or whatever. And a lot of people probably don't realize that's like all customizable on our end, so we can put whatever we want at the end, and you have 20 seconds.
Designing with inside of the limits. It's like, here you have a square that is smaller than the square of the screen, and you get to put 4 blocks or 4 circles or 1 square wherever you want. And it's like, okay, cool. And it's like, and you can make those things turn on and off whenever you want. And you're like, all right. And then so Andrew realizes the rules of the game. I mean, that's how you win in life, dude. Like, people that don't know this, it's like the only way to win is know the rules. So like, he like figured out the rules the best he could, and then like has designed this end screen that is a work of art. Like, it's probably the best end screen I've ever seen. It's literally like the best end screen I've ever seen.
And
it's a legacy piece. This will be around for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. And I made it in a way that's like customizable too, so I can add things to it. It's not just like a permanent thing. The other thing I was gonna actually show, which is kind of cool because we can do this screen sharing thing. I feel like we're already kind of diving into that, so fuck it. If you're listening to this on audio only, go jump on YouTube and check us out. This is a good one to watch. Yeah, the cool thing is I've got these pictures from my initial setup of this collage thing, so you can see actually how I set this up, which is kind of funny.
Like the skeleton.
Yeah. Here, let's see here. So this is actually how I set up the first part of it. So I've got the little paper down here, and then I've got these random Polaroids. These are just Polaroids that I had from other events.
People, I want you to understand that these are actual items that he owns, that he put on a board on a piece of paper and then took really good pictures of. Like, this is all his stuff.
Yeah, so I had a top-down picture that I took, like a top-down like tripod image that I took top-down. And this was like the first trial, so this wasn't actually what ended up being in the final thing. But I had to figure out how I was going to like create this little mini world. And then basically my idea was to Photoshop out each picture and put my own pictures in it, which is kind of cool. And it has a
lot of memorabilia. That's one of the things that I like you do that I don't, and maybe I should because it'd be cool. Is like wherever you go and wherever you do stuff, you collect things.
Kinda, yeah.
And you've got people that I know this. Like when I go into Andrew's room, his room is like its own little work of art. Like he's got, like the top of his dresser and like places on the wall and like these little nooks and crevices and like, oh yeah, those are the pictures with like Anas. I gave you some of those. Like, yeah, Anas.
So it's actually pretty
Abigail
funny.
and Caitlin and that's crazy, dude.
It's pretty funny because some of these are pictures of Richard because I borrowed the Polaroids from Richard. Some of them were of me. You can see like that's me and that's me, but I needed more of them, so I knew Richard had one of those little Instax cameras from back in the day. And
if you're single, back when this Rona thing ends, if you're single, the best way to go up and talk to any group of girls is with a camera. All you gotta do is take your camera up to them and go, hey, are you guys friends? And they're gonna say, yeah, sure. And you gonna say, hey, I've got this camera. Do you want me to take a picture? And they go, yeah, sure. You take a picture.
I remember you talking about this in
Dude,
earlier
it
episodes.
works. You take a picture, you give them the picture, and boom, you're having a conversation with them. I'm telling you guys, it's genius. And every girl takes it and puts it on her Snapchat or put it on her Instagram story because they think it's the shit. Like,
that is a really good idea.
It is the easiest way to have a conversation with literally anybody, especially if you're single and you're going out.
Yeah, for sure.
And it makes you interesting as fuck. It's like, oh, that's the guy who took a picture of us. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, I've always thought those types of things were pretty funny too. One thing that happened to me at a music festival one time, this girl, I actually still have in my wallet because I think it's so funny. This girl came up to me and gave me a business card, and on the card, I'll pull it out right here. It says, hi, you're attractive. In personality, oh, you can't see it. It says, hi, you're attractive. In personality, appearance, or both. Enjoy your existence because everyone else sure does. And then on the back, it just says, just thought you should know. Pass it on. And I'm like, that's so cool because it's literally just like a way to just be like, hey, I think you're really attractive. Like, hey, like I'm giving you this compliment right now. Here you go. And when I got it, she just like smiled at me and we were all like dancing. It was just like at a music festival. There was music. It wasn't like she was trying to hit on me or like, hey, blah, blah, blah. But it was just like a cool like thing where she just handed that to me. And I was like, you know what? I'll save this for some time. Maybe I'll give it to somebody. And I always forget about it. But I mean,
yeah,
it stuck with me. And I even remember what she looked like.
I bet some dude like probably gave that to her and she was like,
no, she had
I gotta go find someone else.
It
was like her cards.
It was like her thing. She was like, because a lot of people at music festivals will do things like that. Like one thing that really works well at music festivals at like starting conversation is the tiny hands.
Yes, your tiny hands are so funny.
Yeah, so like you can get these little hands, these rubber hands that go on your fingers. And if you just like go around like dancing with them, you're bound to have someone comment on it, and then like boom, you have a conversation starter. Now they're your friend, and if you have like a whole bag of them, you can like give them to people, and then people are so stoked. So like, oh shit, now I have a tiny hand. And then like once everyone in the fucking music festival community all knew about tiny hands, then people got like the middle finger tiny hands or like black tiny hands or even tiny hands for your tiny hand. They make little tiny hands that go on each finger of the tiny hands. So like it's so ridiculous.
It's its own trend.
It's its own like little trend, and it just became such a thing. That's on a separate note. That's why coming up with products is just so genius, because whoever came up with that little finger tiny hand thing on a finger never ever ever would have assumed that would like take off in the EDM community for whatever reason, but it totally did. And they are making a killing making stupid little rubber tiny hands and selling them on Amazon because people are buying them up like crazy.
It's funny how that works, because so this is usually in the world of products, right? Is like you pick out a consumer and then you design a product for the consumer and then sell it to that consumer.
Yeah, and they were probably making it for kids or something.
Who knows what they were making it for? Who knows? It's the ultimate like China plastic Amazon dropship thing. Like someone somewhere was like, dude, tiny hands. I can buy 10,000 of them and we can sell them for 79 cents each or something. You know, like someone somewhere saw a buck, and like you just market it. Like you never know who's going to get it, who's going to grab it, who's going to do what with it. And then what do you know? Ta-da, it's banging inside of that community, and you're like, okay, I guess all the ravers want this.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because kind of like what you were saying with pushing the boundaries of like a group or whatever. There's so many different instances where products are specifically designed for something else. But like, for example, we had in our video where we went to the Abilities Expo, there was the lady who has the business called Accidentally Accessible, and it's all about finding products that were not designed for people with disabilities, but actually are really useful for people with disabilities just by nature of the design.
A good example for something that I use is my litter robot. That is incredible, because I only have to clean my cat's poop box and put new sand in it like once a week. It cleans itself.
Yeah, there's a lot of products like that. Like, even just like detachable shower heads. The first person to make a detachable shower head was probably just thinking, oh, it'd be real nice if I could spray water up my butt, but like the water's coming down instead of up. So they made a detachable shower head, and then people with disabilities are like, this is perfect because now I can spray my whole body because I can't move my body in the shower. Things like that.
The dog walking leash thing is really cool. So it's like if you're someone who rides a bike and you want to walk your dog at the same time, there's this like glove you can put on, but it works
so that you can hold the leash while you
push your wheelchair at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's perfect for people with wheelchairs because they can put the leash on their hand but still push their wheelchair. All kinds of stuff like that. But that's like an instance. For example, my friend's mom, she was on Shark Tank. She made this product called the shower toga. Shout out Connor Peterson. His mom, Cressa, made this thing that basically makes it so you can get clean and take a pseudo shower in public.
You can take a rinse basically.
But you can get clean. That's the thing, is because normally if you were trying to take a shower in public, it's really impossible because you're just like wiping yourself down with baby wipes or pouring water all over yourself, but you can't actually get in all the areas. And the cool thing about the shower toga is it has like holes in the sides where you can actually like get in there into your private areas and like actually rinse off in public because you're completely covered up. Obviously it looks really weird and you probably would want to still like go behind a car or something, but it is cool because the reason why they designed it is because they do all those obstacle course races where people are getting really muddy, and then maybe they're like 2 hours away from home. Maybe they're going to want to go out to eat afterwards, but they're all covered in mud and disgusting, and you can only get so clean while hosing yourself off with your clothes on. So it's like they designed this thing to solve that need, but then they realized, oh, people that go camping all the time would totally use this. Oh, people that go to music festivals would totally want this. Oh, right now they're actually donating tons and tons of them for nurses and doctors that are working in hospitals and are afraid they're having COVID-19, but don't want to come in their house yet to shower. So they're showering outside with the shower toga and then are able to go inside their home and not be scared that they're bringing in germs and everything from maybe their clothes or whatever. And it's actually genius. And Mark Cuban was the shark that actually took their deal, and he donated a lot of money to donate shower togas to doctors and nurses right now. So shout out Shower Toga if you are in need of something like that. Go find them on Facebook because they're giving out a lot of them right now. They're donating a ton of them. And I think you can actually donate to them right now. Like you can donate shower togas. You can donate money to go towards that cause, which is pretty cool.
I really hope there's a future where, and I think we're working towards this, there's a future where Wheels to Walking itself has its own products.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like we're starting now with merch. Like this is our first proof of concept. And, one of the ways that you can build a business and, be wealthy and secure is have multiple streams of income. So we're growing and building these multiple streams of income so that if one thing goes wrong or if one thing goes right, whatever, most very wealthy people build businesses and companies that have multiple streams of income. But anyway, I hope that there's a time when, there can be Wheels to Walking crutches and Wheels to Walking wheelchairs and Wheels to Walking bags, to carry your stuff around, and, Wheels to Walking catheters, or, so I don't know. Like there's just
and Wheels
so
to Walking
much out
stuff
there.
is kind of unique because I think a lot of manufacturers are focusing on like, okay, here's a wheelchair bag. And you are like, okay, but I'm ambulatory, so sometimes my wheelchair is not on my person. So like if I'm going to the bathroom and I'm going to go stand up to pee or whatever, and my bag that I use to pee with is attached to my wheelchair, that's an inconvenience. So you like the over-the-shoulder bag because it's always on you, and people
but I'd be
haven't
open
thought of
to
that.
design. I'd be open to design anything, like even if
Yeah,
it was
of course. But I'm just saying, like in
hype,
general,
like a hype beast chest bag or some shit.
yeah, for sure. No, but I'm just
you could throw in the back or the front. That'd be cool, I think.
Yeah, for sure. You might look like a douche a little bit, but fuck it.
I mean,
but
dude, I'm Wheels to Walking. I'm already a douche. Everyone hates me. Dude, I was thinking about that the other day. I'm easily hateable because, like, if you don't know me and you don't know my story and you just like look at me and look at my pictures and look at my attitude. I mean, even the lady in the article she said I was an in-your-face kind of person. She goes, Richard with his in-your-face personality, and I was like, okay, it's true though. So it's like I definitely see why people on initial, like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I don't like him.
I don't know, but I mean, I rock the stringers. Like, why couldn't I rock something that like,
might
look douchey, but actually serves a really great purpose, which is to carry my catheters and stuff with me in an effective and efficient manner.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think a lot of those like there's just a lot of fashion right now that's like performance gear, but no one's using it for that reason.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of high
like a
fashion
bulletproof vest
shit.
or some shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of high fashion shit that's like being inspired from like camping gear and shit. Like the like waterproof zippers and like zipper pulls that are like the little parachute cord and shit like that. It's like those are tactical things. They're things that are designed to be used heavily and indestructible, but they're like becoming more fashion. Inspired and things like that. Because
I mean, it doesn't have to.
It's
be
almost
kind
of like a car.
To a wall.
No, I know. We're just talking about it, but I think also it's like kind of the idea of like a tuner car that's just hard parked as shit. Like it's not even really drivable. It's just a show car.
It's all show, no go.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of cars like that.
Yeah. Yo. Okay. By the way, side note for everyone: if you want to know how like Andrew and I's creative process works, you just saw a sneak peek, which is basically one of us comes to the other one with a not complete idea and just gives it to them, and then we argue back and forth with our objections. Like we have like objections. It's like, well, this is why I don't like it and this is why I do like it. And then the other person will be like, okay, but this and this. And we just kind of go back and forth for, I mean, sometimes hours.
Oh yeah.
In order to get to like exactly a place that we both agree is the right decision. Like we we just go at it. And that's one of my favorite things I think about. Like Andrew and I are both like good arguers. Like we're very convincing and we've got good points. And
yeah, my mom always said I should be a lawyer. She's always like, you should be a lawyer. You're always good at like arguing your point or whatever. But I think it's just being a good conversationalist and being good at expressing yourself. Because really, it's kind of like sales. It's like you shouldn't be trying to convince someone of something that you don't believe. You should believe that it's good. Like if you're a salesperson, you should believe in your product so strongly that you're doing this person a disservice if they don't buy it. Like that should be your mindset.
Yeah, and you got to be able to like be confident and stand your ground and know what's right. And I think that's always great when you and I do that, because we've got like there's certain things that we just like think are dumb or like won't budge on or like we'll change, but it's like we'll just go back and forth, and it's like whoever's the most stubborn, basically, whoever like really believes in what they're doing the most, usually gets most of the compromised choices, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I think it's also like we always have those discussions, but it's never in the interest of like selfish stuff. It's typically in the interest of furthering the brand and what we're trying to do, like
absolutely.
We have a lot of discussions when we're filming videos, especially the types of videos where we're just like sitting down and talking. Like, for example, the video about the coronavirus. Like, we released that one video that was like, our wheelchair users immunocompromised. We sat there for like 10, 15, 20 minutes just trying to get the intro down the right way. Like we were seriously. And we were just like arguing about like the correct verbiage and how we wanted to say it. And I mean, obviously that's kind of like a touchy video. There's a lot of things that could have potentially gone sour, commenting on things the wrong way.
Well,
and
I mean,
we also
it kind of did. Like some things I said, yeah, I mean, it was like some things I said were not 100% accurate. Some things I said were out of date by the time the video came out.
This is true. It was like 6 days, 5 days later.
Yeah, and some things I said were just like not researched enough. I don't know. This is one of the things that like I'm wanting to work really hard on with Wheels to Walking, is like we shouldn't have to have those conversations. We shouldn't have to have those arguments while we're shooting, because I need to be a better writer. Like I need to be more prepared. Like I need to have like an outline and like a script and like a shot list, and like I need to be better at that. So that's something that like during this break I'm working on. Like I have a huge goal to get better at preparing and writing for videos. Because
also a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of video production is writing. Like Linus,
almost all of it.
Yeah, like Linus Tech Tips. He's like one of the biggest like YouTubers for like tech stuff. I know AJ, you watch him sometimes. He helped you build your PC, right? Your first PC. You're muted. I can't hear you, AJ.
Yeah, we didn't hear you.
No, I can't. This is terrible audio. Dead air. Dead air.
It's right. Dead air. Sorry, everyone. Sorry.
But anyways,
yeah, I think Linus, he was nodding along. You can just nod your head. Did Linus help you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's nodding. There you go. Hey.
But yeah, Linus, maybe your mic turned off. Now can we hear you? Try it again, AJ.
What's up?
Oh,
Hey, there
hey,
he
now we
is.
can hear you.
Okay, cool. Well, what I said before was Linus, like PC thing, and I've got this, beautiful sculpture I've created over the past couple of years right here, and Linus is the man behind that inspiration. So,
The funny thing is, in your studio there, it looks like behind you have an iMac.
oh yeah, dude. Wait, is it? It's this one, right?
yeah, that iMac, that's
Dude, I
like
looked
definitely right
behind me. I'm
behind you.
so stupid. I
No,
looked
but it
behind me,
looked
like,
real
as if it
because
was
you were
there.
looking behind you. It looked like you were looking at it. No, wrong way.
Oh, wrong way?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
The iMac?
Yeah, the iMac
That-
back there. You
that
built that?
one?
Y'all are stupid as shit. You know.
Yeah,
this,
we
right?
are.
Y'all
If you're watching the Zoom,
This
anyways.
is basically how. our
Yo,
conversation
okay,
is
you
going.
guys,
But,
you guys ready to get
wait,
your
one
mind
sec,
blown for a
I
second?
didn't finish what I was gonna say about Linus Tech Tips.
I was just gonna mention that it's only been 37 minutes. It's
Yeah, I
only been 30. What? Or 35.
know.
Whatever. I don't know.
I
It
know.
hasn't even been that long. So continue. But I'm just
But,
blown away.
yeah,
'cause
so Linus-
we've hit so much already.
Linus, one thing that he said was, or one thing that he talks about is, like he's basically a glorified writer at this point. Like he uses a teleprompter for like pretty much all of his videos, but he has like a huge team. Like he's got like 10, 20 people that are on his team, and they have like a huge building and warehouse, and like they crank out videos every single day. They have a podcast type show. They've got, videos that are coming out every day with new products in the tech world, things about PCs and processors and blah, 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 blah. But one thing that he talked about is like, I'm basically just a glorified writer at this point, because once you get your script down, you can shoot the video pretty quickly. But if you're trying to decide what you're going to say as you're filming it, it just drags the process on so long. And then it makes the editing process so much more difficult because you're having to sift through footage and stuff. Like, let alone the takes of messing it up, but also just the takes where you didn't even say it the right way. It's just like it just adds so much to the workflow.
And it's like the wrong tone, the wrong cadence, the wrong transition. Like there's just so much about it that like I'm already rusty, guys. P.S. I was hit by a car and hadn't done a video in 3 months. So like I'm rusty as shit. And I also realized that like I could be better. Like I do some writing, but not enough writing.
Yeah.
I do a lot of research, and I think my research is good. And I think my, like titles and tags and thumbnails and stuff, like those are pretty decent. But like the writing process, I know I could get just a bajillion times better. And it's like I have a sister who's a writer who's going to help me get better. There's books I'm reading on how to get better at writing. Like I just when it comes to Wheels of Walking, man, like this is so serious to me. Like this is my passion. This is my drive. This is what I'm committed to, and I want to be the best at it, not just for myself, but for everybody involved. And I think if I get better at writing over this break, I'll reach a point that like the videos are going to improve in quality in the same way that Andrew's been improving everything else. He's doing the merch and all the visuals and like doing the end screen and, the new intro and just like all the stuff that Andrew does. So like, that's where I'm trying to do better.
Yeah. And the thing is too, is like not everyone realizes how, our videos crush anyways. It's not like our videos are bad, but it is true. Like a lot of times also, even just the way that you write, it's hard to read a script in the way that you would talk. It's very hard to read something that's been written and then say it how you would say it. Like if you were writing something properly, if you were trying to express those same thoughts verbally, you would not say it the same way. You abbreviate things. You say, instead of would have, you say would have. You know what I mean? Like you say, I'm going to go to do this. I'm going to go, instead of I'm going to go do this or whatever.
I'll say I'm going to go do this versus I am going to go do this. Yeah.
Or even saying the proper word the, like I'm going to the store. But when you're talking, you're like, I'm going to the store. And you almost just say TH. You're like, I'm going to the store. Yeah, I'm going to go to the store and then I'm going to do this, blah, 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 blah. And also a lot of times when we talk in run-ons. We don't talk in proper sentences. So it's very hard to write a script that sounds natural. And so I think that's one thing that we can work on and stuff like that. Because that's just
that
a
responsibility
hard thing.
that responsibility is mostly on me. That's a
Yeah,
big.
because also you have to write the way that you talk. I mean, that's one thing that I got really good at just doing the Andrew Deitch podcast, because I would write my own intros and outros and I would read them out loud. And one thing that Jordan Belfort actually, the Wolf of Wall Street, he has a course called the Straight Line Persuasion, and it's actually really good. I've taken the whole course, and it's his sales process of how he actually taught his people back in the day. And in the beginning, he talks about how back in the day, I used this for purposes that were not ethical. I was telling people to buy stocks and things that were not the right idea, were not the right move, but the principles and topics that I'm going to teach you in this course, they work for ethical and non-ethical. So I am telling you, if you use this for non-ethical, it will bite you in the ass. You'll end up in prison. You'll end up in jail. You'll end up like me. So use me as a precautionary tale. Do not use these techniques and tips on things that are not ethical. Use them ethically, because you can create massive success, but you got to do it the right way. So anyways, one thing that he talks about is writing the script when you do cold calls, because if you sound robotic and you sound, like you're reading off a script, people can sense that immediately, and you've got about
Hello,
2
sir,
seconds.
Mr. Deitch. How are you today? I want to talk to you about extending your car's warranty.
Exactly.
You're like,
and he talks
bye.
about how to write in the way that so when you write exactly how you're going to say it, and you also write with the right inflection, so that you're leading them without actually having to ask them questions. So you don't, instead of saying, does that sound, you're not going like, hey, I was just talking about this today. They're going to go, yeah. But if you're like, hey, I was going to see if you were able to talk about this today, they're going to be like, no. The way that you even just have the inflection in your voice informs them. And you use this term, I think he calls it the common sense man or something like that. Basically, it's like the way that you sound and the way that you word it, you almost make them seem silly to not go along with what you're saying. Because that makes perfect sense, right? Oh, you wouldn't want to go bankrupt, would you? And you're like, yeah.
It's like, it would be silly to not get good returns. Like, you want to put yourself in a high growing market or whatever.
And he's a genius at that. He's really, really good at teaching you how to do those things. So that was one thing that really helped me when I was writing my podcast scripts, was thinking about that.
Maybe I need to take that course.
It's really good. I mean, it's mainly about sales, but it's really good, because basically he has this thing he calls the straight line.
I mean, I also could get better at sales. That's another thing.
I'm learning for sure.
Is like cultivating relationships and having conversations with brands. I'm so rookie that I feel like a dingus. Like, sometimes I'll even like, I don't know.
It's like a 12-hour course. I think I still have it. I can send it to you.
I can knock that out in a couple of days.
Yeah,
no problem.
it's badass. But
anyways, it's not like Sean's course that's like like 40
Yeah, I think it's like
hours.
12 sessions, and they're all about an hour. But yeah, I took a lot of notes taking that course. It's funny because that was so many years ago now that I'm thinking about it. But the thing that he talks about is taking you on the sales. You want to take people on a straight line, because you're trying to get from point A to point B, and the point B is the sale, right? And a lot of salesmen, they do this and they curve up and down, and they don't stay on the straight line because they start talking about your kids, and then they start talking about this, and they're trying to build rapport and all this stuff. He's like, no, you don't need to do all that. You just need to get to the straight line to the sale, get to the sale as fast as possible, because people that are going to buy, and people who aren't going to buy aren't going to buy. Like, and it's genius. Like, he's amazing. But anyways, Jordan Belfort, Straight Line Persuasion. That was a nice little ad for him.
Yeah, you know what I'm also stoked about? Like, listen to how Andrew talks. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Boo! Boo! There you go. That's better.
That should be Richard's background.
If you're just watching the video, I've got some. I switched my green screen background.
Jesus.
Maybe I shouldn't have that one on the screen.
I'm excited to see. Dude, oh my god. All
okay,
right,
I'm gonna change it to something normal.
I'm gonna pretend like nothing is there. I'm just joking. Okay.
If you're watching the Zoom right now, if you're watching the YouTube video, definitely pay attention, because this is pretty funny.
God. All right, so anyhow, like, I'm excited to see, like, listen to how Andrew's brain works, right? Like, I'm excited to improve my skills, and then also we can do, like, we launched the merch, and the merch has been really successful, but the way it looks currently is very, like, wintry, like, drabby, like, coldy, you know, like, water on the ground, you know, whatever. So, like, in the future, whenever that is, you know, we'll do something to, like, probably just take nicer pictures, or, like, not nicer pictures, but different different pictures on a sunnier day or something like that. But
Yeah.
it would get like a different vibe to it. And like, speaking of like the merch and the end screen and stuff, is like we finding ways to like, what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say?
I don't know.
Andrew?
You're just trying to segue into the merch, I think. But
I think that's what I'm trying to say.
the merch, the merch has done pretty well, I'd say.
The bundle was really popular. Thank you guys to everyone who got the bundle. That's the best deal.
Yeah, the bundle was really popular. We're gonna have another deal coming out pretty soon. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for that and everything. But
yeah, I think what we're gonna do is we'll probably make like a new deal for the website that is just kind of like a constant regular deal, and then we'll probably hide promo codes inside of our regular videos. So if you're watching the videos, you'd be like, oh snap, look, like 60% off or like 40% off, or like
100% off.
You'll see these random we'll see these random codes that pop up. And
yeah, so they're like in the video, the idea would be that the codes would like pop up in the corner or something as you're watching it. One channel that did this a long time ago that I really liked was Salamandrin. He does like car videos, and he had these codes that would pop up in the video, and they would be limited to like the first 50 people to redeem the code. So it was actually really cool because it incentivized people to watch the whole video so that they could find the code, because there was a code in every video. But also it was cool because you wanted to click the notification and watch the video first, because you wanted to be one of the people to be able to redeem it. So not only did you have to watch the whole video, but you had to watch it in a timely manner right when it got posted if you wanted to be one of the people that was fortunate enough to use the code in time, because they were limited in amount. So if you didn't watch it right when the notification popped up on your phone, you were not going to get the code. So I think it's kind of a genius move, and we'll probably implement that. So if you're like waiting on getting the merch because it's kind of expensive or whatever, we're going to probably be doing some stuff like that so that you can redeem some codes. I think that would be super fun. Also, they might do like a giveaway or something.
Yeah, I think there's also room for a giveaway. We know a girl, or we both know a girl that
I don't know any girls.
Been successfully. She does a lot of giveaways, and they seem to be pretty successful. And so I'm talking to her and seeing how she's able to use, the giveaway so that there's it's advantageous.
I'm sorry.
It's advantageous to the person who's getting the merch, and advantageous to people that are giving it away. Yo, Andrew, you're pushing the best limits right now. Everyone's talking about how pushing the boundaries of technology. He's pushing the boundaries of like YouTube demonetization.
Yeah, shout out to Pizza Slime. They're a company that also sells genius merch. They have they're awesome. So I'll kind of we're talking about merch, so it kind of ties in. But this dude Matthew Wang, he's a genius. He started this clothing line called Pizza Slime probably back in like 2013, 2012 maybe. So it's been around for quite some time. But he basically kind of created these like meme clothing almost, but not in a way where it's just a meme on a t-shirt. It was like very creative parodies of well-known things. So, for example, one of the T-shirts that he had was, I have it actually. It's a long sleeve tee. It's a black long sleeve tee that has the Versace logo on the front, and then it says Gucci underneath of it. And then on the back, it has the Louis Vuitton logo, and then it says Chanel underneath of it. So it's like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Versace all on one shirt. So it's obviously fake, but it's just funny because it's like kind of trolling people. And if you know that it's fake, it's funny. Another thing that they have right now is they have these pants that are sweatpants, and they say, "Stop looking at my dick" on the crotch.
Oh, those people.
You've probably seen them. And because a lot of celebrities, I think Kylie Jenner is wearing them recently.
I feel like that the original one was back in the day when girls would put it on their chest and be like, "Quit looking at my boobs," or like, "Quit looking at my tits," or whatever,
there was
whatever
definitely shirts like that. But it's just funny because it's like, "Stop looking at my dick," and they also made an alternate version that said, "Stop looking at my dick and start looking at the facts about climate change." That was pretty funny. But anyways,
there is currently like the science denial is at an all-time high right now, and it makes me want to punch like my face so hard. Like, people that are still denying science like need to get it together. It's like, don't question science. Like, science is the standard. Like, listen to doctors and scientists, and like quit listening to
but they're all part of the system,
people.
bro. They're all part of the system.
People. Yeah, sure, okay, then I've lost you. But it's a matter of like, listen to the doctors and scientists. Don't listen to opinions. Don't listen to a tweet. Don't listen to a Facebook post. Don't listen to anything. Listen to doctors and scientists, because all this other bullshit is pseudoscientific. And same thing with like all these marketing companies, like supplement companies being like, buy this immune booster supplement. It's like, shut up. That doesn't work. That's not how the immune system works. Like,
I'm sitting in a doctor's office right now. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm a doctor. And I definitely know what I'm talking about. But you know, it's actually a really funny thing I saw recently about the science deniers is like anti-vaxxers been pretty quiet recently. And it's like, hey, imagine a world with no vaccines. Hey, imagine a world without one vaccine. That's actually what we're experiencing currently. Imagine the world without one vaccine that we need desperately. And it's like, shit.
The world,
we'd be wiped
the Earth
out.
would annihilate us. Humans would be
And
dead.
obviously right now, like, you know, we've got group immunity and things like that. If everyone stopped taking vaccines currently, like maybe it wouldn't get bad for quite some time before they all come back. But like, dude, you know,
we had eradicated some diseases. We had eradicated
We really
measles,
have.
and it came back. And it's like, I'm sorry, what dipshit?
These like medieval
isn't
diseases are
vaccinating
coming
their
back.
fucking kids. Like, are you kidding me right now? And this whole vaccines cause autism argument is so ridiculous. It's one scientist who lied in 1998 on a paper, got into a journal for a year, and then they found out he lied. They pulled him out of the journal and took away his license. They stripped him of his license to practice.
The thing about it too is like, guaranteed there's going to be some effects, some bad effects of injecting millions and millions of people with chemicals. I mean, like, that's just a fact. You know, some people are going to react negatively and some are going to react positively, but that's just kind of the risk you have to take when we're talking about, I mean, do we want to end up in another coronavirus situation? The situation we're in right now is not ideal.
I mean, let me put it this way. Any vaccine I've ever had the only way it, like, changed me at all is I had a sore muscle because the needle went in my arm.
Well, no shit. Like, I'm talking about 1 in a million. Like, there's actual, I mean, let's be real. If you're talking about just outliers, there's going to be people that react negatively to vaccines. I mean, it's just, like, silly to not believe that. But
I don't know if the evidence is there. I honestly don't know. I've never looked into it, but it doesn't seem right. Like, the way that, like, the CDC creates and regulates these vaccines in such a way that, like, they cannot harm you. Like, I think that it's not possible to be harmed.
The thing is there's just not enough data. I mean, when you take a data set of like 10,000 people and we're talking about an anomaly of 1 in a million, yeah, that doesn't seem like very much, but when we're talking about 7 billion people on the planet, 1 in a million happens quite a few times. So the thing is
I don't know enough. I haven't looked into it. I haven't researched it, but I just know that, like, science is not a joke. Like, science doesn't play.
Yeah, no shit. But the thing is too is there's it's a risk we have to take. You know, it's like even if you do believe that like vaccines could have complications or taking things like that could cause complications, the negative side effect of everyone not taking those things is far greater than any sort of people that would have some sort of adverse reaction to it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's like 7 million people don't take it, half of us die. 7 million people.
It's the same thing with
7 billion people take it, and only a few people have adverse effects.
Yeah, it's like, hey, bro, I've taken vaccines my whole life and I've never had a problem. It's the same type of thing as like, hey, bro, I've owned dogs my whole life and I've never had a problem. I don't see why you're fucking coughing. You know, it's like, because I have an allergy. I have this. My body is different than your body. There are going to be people that when they take a vaccine, some fucking weird shit is going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to cause autism, but something's going to fucking happen. I'm just saying, you know, that's just, I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just, but I'm playing the devil's advocate, really. But in the grand scheme of things, we should all be taking vaccines if you can, because some people are immunocompromised. They can't take vaccines. Also, we don't want to end up in a situation where we're at right now where everyone has to fucking quarantine and ride this shit out. You know, it's like, let's just take vaccines.
You know what future scares me the most is when humans can no longer take antibiotics because we're immune to them. Like there's a current major problem of there's a major problem of overprescription of antibiotics, and for things that aren't even like bacteria, like it's a virus. Like antibiotics do nothing for viruses. Like if you think that's real, you're a fucking idiot. But it's like antibiotics exist in nature. There are no more. They don't exist anymore. And the more as a human species, as a human race, we take antibiotics, the more that we are lowering our threshold, and all of these bugs and all this bacteria and all these viruses are coming to kill us. So it's like in, 25, 50, 100 years when antibiotics don't work anymore, like what are we going to do? Like we're out. That's it. We're done. Like there are no more. You cannot make antibiotics. It's like it's crazy because like a lot of people in the spinal cord injury, I don't think take this seriously enough, but like every time you get a UTI, you don't have to be on fucking antibiotics. Like just drink a shit ton of water. Like take D-mannose if it's an E. coli based E. coli based infection. Like there's a bunch of ways. Like people that are on long term, they're like, oh, I just take 1 or 2 every day to like prevent UTIs. It's like, oh my God, no, that's such a bad decision. Like don't do that. Like you're gonna create like this immunity in your system. Like I had that problem. I had a bunch of UTIs, I had a kidney infection, I had a kidney stone, and they were pumping in like IV like Levaquin, like I had to wear like a fanny pack, like a pouch when my arm had surgery on it because I got staph infection, but my body was so resistant to antibiotics. I had to use like the king of antibiotics, which is like the equivalent of chemo medicine. It was fucking terrible, but like people don't realize that like that is a reason why a lot of us have immunocompromisation. And it's like, take this shit fucking serious. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's my rant. Spinal cord injury people, quit fucking acting like this isn't gonna affect you. Like it's affecting you. Jesus.
For sure. But the thing I was kind of going back to with the anti-vaxxers and shit is like, really, we've got to take it seriously. We can't deny science. The other thing that we were talking about was to go all the way back to the pizza slime shit was there's with merch and everything, there's like all kinds of things that you can do. And one thing that I love that Pizza Slime has done is they do very, very, very limited drops. So like
didn't Peter McKinnon do that like So Gangster recently?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a super original idea. Lots of brands do this, but like, yeah, Peter McKinnon did this drop a couple days ago, sold out in 30 minutes.
Dude, but they were so beautiful though. Oh my God. The packaging though, like, Peter McKinnon is kind of like the blueprint for how to be financially successful on YouTube. It's like just make a bunch of intellectual property that's yours that you can just sell to your audience. Yeah,
I mean, he's a genius at it, and really, what's his name? His brand deal guy is amazing. Sean, I think his name is. I can't remember.
We should get ourselves a Sean. I'm sick of being the brand deal guy.
Yeah.
I'm good at building relationships.
You're the wheelchair guy.
But I'm not good at making sales. That's my problem. That's my big problem.
The thing that I love, and that I just love this concept is just building hype around a launch and then just selling out and then shipping out everything, and then nothing happens until the next launch. Because unfortunately, what's happening with our launch is, we produced a lot of items for the temporary collection.
It was an
ambitious amount.
We weren't expecting Corona at all, and
if we were going to sell out immediately, it was going to be really incredible. And we knew that there was a lot of factors against us, especially the coronavirus.
So many factors against us. Yep.
So we knew that we probably weren't going to sell out immediately, but we had an ambitious number, and I think we're doing really well as far as sales. We've sold, about like 1/5 or so of all of our inventory, which in a week is pretty dang good, I'd say. If we kept those sales numbers up, we'd sell it in 5 weeks, which I'd say is amazing. But again,
I doubt those sales numbers will be there. But like if we just
exactly, I think again the sales numbers are never going to be as high as when you first launch it, and that's why building hype around the launch is so smart.
Yeah, the way I see it, and this is just my personal perspective, and obviously we'll change and grow as we continue to do stuff. But it's like this is just another stream of income. This is another way that Wheels to Walking can exist. This is another way that expenses can get paid for. This is another way that like we can have good equipment. And it's like, we've got the YouTube revenue ads, but they're kind of like crap recently. We've got ads on the podcast. You heard one last week. We've got Patreon. What's up, patrons? We love you to death. Thank you for all of your support, and I'm so stoked that we can get you videos early and you can listen to the podcast and all that stuff. But now it's merch, right? So we got 4 streams of income. They're not great. They're decent. They're good, but it's like as long as we continue to build these streams of income, we're going to have over a landscape of multiple items, things that perform well and things that don't perform well, and then it'll eventually outnumber the expenses. Because, like, right now it's expensive. It's very expensive. And, like, the goal is to make money back. Like, we have created a revenue-generating machine. Like, it is generating revenue. That's not a lie. Like, we have successes. But it's like we're just not there to the point where we're like profitable. But that's where patience comes in. Like, you got to be patient, especially in any type of startup, and especially any type of venture. You got to be patient with this stuff. So it's like what he's talking about, like, with launching and stuff. It's like it's all about strategy, and we were ambitious. We were very ambitious, and we were also expecting to have different videos out. We were expecting to be able to shoot different videos. The vlog, what the heck was that about? It's just different. It's just weird. It's unexpected, but we did the best we could given the hands that we were dealt. And I'm really happy and really proud of what we were able to accomplish.
Yeah, for sure. And really the cool thing about the merch is, it's just going to be so sick once everyone starts wearing it and everything, obviously, because it's been such a process, been months and months of planning and everything. But once everyone has the merch, it's going to be just like so sick because it's going to feel like complete, because right now it's still, it's real, but it's still like an idea. You know what I mean? Like everyone's put in their orders, but they haven't all gotten shipped and haven't gotten delivered. But yeah, I just love the concept of like creating hype around one launch and it feeling like an event, people feeling like they're part of something. Because one thing that, to go back to Pizza Slime, one thing that they do that's genius is you can only get in if you're on their email list, because the day that the store goes live, they send you the password. So throughout the rest of the year, right now they've kind of laxed on that, but when they were first launching, the genius thing that they did was they would only open up the store when they had product. So when everything was sold out, the store was closed and it would just say, hey, we're launching our new drop on this date. And it was just a password to get in. And then on the launch day, they would email everyone on their email list and they'd say, yo, go cop this shit before it sells out. It's going to sell out quickly, blah, 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 blah. And if it didn't sell out, then they'd open it up to the public afterwards. But it would always sell out because they were just genius about it, and they got it in the hands of the right people. Like DJs were wearing it and stuff, so everyone was stoked on having it. And that was this hype machine. And then when you didn't get it on that drop, you were like motivated to get it next time. And also,
that's how I
you
feel
would
about Greg
see
Mike shirts, dude. Greg Mike does it all the time. He'll put up a photo and he'll be like 150. Hit him, shoot me money on PayPal, and like without even looking, it's like, all right, here's $35 and I'm a size large. It's like bam, 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 bam.
And
like,
the other thing that's
I always get his shit when he drops it.
For sure. And the thing that's also genius about that is once people see your shirt, like let's say I was like, yo, where'd you get that shirt? And you're like, oh, it's Greg Mike. And I'll be like, oh, dope. I look up Greg Mike t-shirts. He's not selling that shirt anymore. So I'm like, where the fuck do I get that? You know what I mean? So it's genius in the way that you can only get it at certain times too. And once it's like sold out, it's sold out. So you can't even get it if you want it. Like you feel a lot of sneakers are like that, like sneaker culture is genius with that. Supreme is like that. A lot of lessons you can learn from streetwear inspired drops and things like that. So I think doing something like that in the future would be cool. I think we'd have a large portion of our audience that would be annoyed by that because totally. They are not in that world, and so they'd be like, why don't you just sell them? Like, what the heck? Like, I want a shirt. Like, why won't you sell me a shirt? But I think creating a hybrid between the two would be cool. I think having some items that are always available that you can always buy, and then some that are very limited quantity that are, Nike's the king of that. They have, remember the Roshis? Like everyone had the Roshi runs, and like they sold billions and bajillions of those things for like $80, and then they would have limited versions that were like art collection ones that had like different prints on it, and they'd only sell a couple thousand or whatever. And so the normies can have their stuff, and then the people that are in the know can have their stuff, and it all coexists in harmony. It's
seen,
genius.
I've heard rumors that like the Nelk boys do live streams, like a 24-hour live stream, like being like, yo, check out the website, like look at all these numbers of all the people waiting, like look at all these sessions.
They show their Shopify live thing, right? Like they show on
they're like yo, look, like look at how many people are around the US, and like look at who's in line waiting, and like they just get it hyped up. I don't know how long they do it for, but I've also heard of YouTube channels doing like 24-hour live streams where it's like they'll be like, hey, we're trying to get a new studio, so we're going to do a 24-hour live stream, like come join us and donate, or like, hey, we're trying to, raise awareness for this or do that. Or it's very, very interesting how that all works. And I don't know if I'd ever want to commit to a 24-hour live stream.
No, fuck that.
But
dude, Sean Duras did a 24-hour live stream when he was going to hit like 1 million subscribers, and it went the full 24 hours and he didn't hit the million. Like it was way too ambitious.
Man.
Like they were only at like 950,000. They're like, oh, 50,000 subs, we'll be able to get that. And like they didn't get it in the 24 hours.
50K subs is a lot.
Yeah, they were kind of like, oh, we're so close, let's do a live stream or whatever. Like it was just funny because they like overanalyzed it. And dude, speaking of that, sometimes when you do those, people unsubscribe just to troll you. And you know what was really funny is on TikTok yesterday, everyone was saying, like leading up to April Fool's Day, everyone was saying to unsubscribe from Charlie D'Amelio, like unfollow her. She's the number one person on TikTok now. And everyone was like, for April Fool's Day, everyone should unfollow her so that she loses subs. Ha ha ha. It's a funny joke. And she played it off like really funny, because what she did was she had 44 million followers, and then once everyone went and unsubscribed, I think she lost like 1 million. And so she went back down to 43 million. And every time she hits a new million, she makes a video saying like, thanks everyone for 44 million. Thanks everyone for this. She made another one that was like, thanks everyone for 43 million. She did like her little TikTok dance or whatever, but didn't act like it was like a downgrade. She was like acting like, thanks everyone for 43 million. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, she hit 44 million again. And then she made another video that was like, I think I'm the first person to hit 44 million twice, because she's also the first person to hit 44 million ever, because she has the most. But it was just pretty funny. I like how she played it off, because I think a lot of people would be like, stop bullying me, you're unfollowing me. But she just like doesn't care about the number because it's so absurd at this point. 44 million.
I feel like those kids got like people behind them, like they got she
just got her family and like a manager, I think. Like she's that family is genius, because the dad, he like owns like a merch company. He owns this company called like Level 4 or something like that, and they do a lot of collaborations with like the NBA and shit. And so he's like, he kind of gets the influencer world. So he's, I think, been like guiding a lot of it. And that, yeah, they've been crushing. I mean, it's really interesting to follow them, just because it's so absurd. Like, because they literally just blew up in the past year. Like the whole family was just like nobody. No one knew who the fuck they were, and now they're like super famous. Like they can't even go to like a restaurant.
Yeah, New Hollywood is very interesting.
Yeah, and it's weird because
it's internet Hollywood too, because it's like people know you or they just don't know you. Because regular Hollywood, you're on TV, you're on movies, you're an actor, you're a character, you're a regular person in people's lives. But internet fame is just like a whole nother like.
Yeah, it's weird.
Thing. It's weird,
very, very weird, especially because the only people that really know them are like kids. So like they could probably go somewhere where it's like all adults, or like go to like a red carpet thing and no one would know who the fuck they were. But like you can
like
go to like a Dave &
Buster's
Buster's and you're getting swarmed, or you go to the mall, you're getting swarmed.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's I'm grateful that so far I haven't had any like weird like fan encounters or anything. Like I think maybe like once or twice maybe, and someone was like, "Hey, watch your videos," and I'm like, "Okay, cool," and like that's it,
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, Andrew's a Facebook mom now, and I just want to let everybody know that Andrew is a Facebook mom, and if you're on video, you're gonna understand what I'm talking about because
I think it's gonna be funny to scroll through. You know how on YouTube you can like scroll through the video and it shows you like a little thumbnail of like what's happening in the video. It's gonna be funny to scroll through this video and see all the times I switch my background.
Jeez.
Yeah, a little incentive for people to watch the video.
We've got a good 20 minutes, but I'm stumped on topics.
I have more to talk about. I never even finished my pizza slime topic. The thing that I was going to say was
I keep
pizza
derailing
slime.
You? Sorry.
It's okay. We were derailing ourselves. The whole point where I brought them up was because they released this Zoom pack of meme backgrounds. And so they actually, on their website, it was like a freebie that you could just get for free. And you could just download all these different little images to put as your Zoom background.
A freebie I can get for free? No way, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, a freebie that you can get for free. Yo, so here's like one of the pizza slime ones. So you can see it says like pizza slime, and it's got like Kanye as a pizza. And oh yeah, they were the ones that made the Erewhon tracksuit and stuff. The world is throwing up and puking on the pizza slime Instagram feed. There's like, oh yeah, this is a really cool collab they did actually. It was a crossbody bag that was made from a Croc, and it was like a legit Crocs collab, and it was like $200. They sold out in like 2 seconds.
Imagine paying $200 for a Croc.
Yeah, I know, right? A Croc bag. And it had custom, you know, the little gibbets, the things that you can put in the holes of Crocs. They had custom pizza slime gibbets for the Crocs. So you could like customize your bag and shit.
Someone punch me in the face ASAP. That's what I need to happen.
Dude, honestly, it was pretty funny. You know, Post Malone did a collab with Crocs. Like, he has a Croc.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised
Yeah,
at all.
honestly, Crocs are on a comeback, bro. Like, all the Visco girls are like wearing Crocs and shit.
Oh no. You know what?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm interested to see what
they were the ones that released this pack.
What fashion's gonna be like after the Rona. Like everyone, like I don't know about y'all, but I've got like daytime pajamas and like nighttime pajamas, and I've got like comfy clothes, and like I don't get dressed up the same way. I don't do my hair. I don't put on cologne. Like I'm just kind of like, because I'm by myself. Like who am I trying to impress? But I want to attempt the best I can to get into like a daily routine.
I think fashion will be way more important because everyone will have not been wearing their cool clothes for so long. Like everyone's going to be like stoked to wear like good clothing that's not just like the beater clothes.
I think practical fashion is also going to come into like, oh, tested positive for missing the homies. It's true though.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm literally just looking through this whole pack. It's funny.
Yo, I'm not going to lie.
But continue.
The internet has been the saving grace of all of this because if it wasn't for the fact damn it, if it wasn't for the fact that I can FaceTime people all day every day, if it wasn't for the fact that we can have digital talks like this and phone calls and
I thought about that a lot, man.
I would lose my fucking mind, and like all the stuff I get to learn and all the stuff I get to do, and it's like without the internet, I mean, the internet is a utility, dude. We can't call it fucking telecom anymore. It's a utility now. Like, I'm sorry. It's a utility. It's just as important as water and fucking electricity. It's serious business over here.
Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting thing because I've thought about it. What if we were going through something like this where we all had to be quarantined and we didn't have the internet or even phones? You know, like that would be really shitty because people, I mean, you could like talk to your neighbors and stuff, but I mean, I'm able to connect with you guys. We're able to hang out. I mean, me and Richard, we were hanging out last night on a video call for quite a while, and it felt, I mean, pretty close to us hanging out in person. I mean, it wasn't like, you know, identical or anything, but it felt like we were just like hanging out, just like we normally would. So, I'm really grateful for the internet because it gives us like a way to actually connect in a meaningful way, not just like,
just like Natalie Portman and Soulja Boy. Yeah,
I mean, Natalie Portman and Soulja Boy, we wouldn't have this amazing moment on screen right now where they hugged. Actually, funny story. Pizza Slime sold that image as a towel, a beach towel. You could buy a beach towel with Soulja Boy and Natalie Portman on it.
Remember when Soulja Boy tried to make a video game system and Nintendo destroyed him?
Yeah, because all it was an emulator.
He tried to be like this entrepreneur, like, and it's like, Soulja Boy, go back to doing the you fucking go crank that, like, go home.
Yeah, that was really stupid.
You know, one of the things that I've found that's also interesting about this quarantine is like, I didn't realize how much I liked the night over the daytime. Like, I would rather stay up as late as I possibly can because it's peaceful, it's relaxing, no one's bothering me. I get to do what I want to do on my own pace. I can, you know, like, eat and chill and relax. So it's like I'm staying up till 3, 4, 5 and then sleeping till 10, 11, 12. And then I get my day started. You know, I jump in the shower, I eat my breakfast. You know, I start to plan my day, I get dressed, and I'm like ready to rock by 2, but then I work till midnight. You know, like I work my ass off all the way until, we were on FaceTime last night till 2, but it was mostly
like
work
2:30.
talk. It was work talk. We did a lot of work talk, and it's like, this
Rona, sorry.
yeah, and that was really cool. So, you know, like I'm really enjoying not feeling pressured to live a 9 to 5. Like I always feel societal pressure to live a 9 to 5 life because that's how everybody else works. That's how that's
Well,
when the office
that's
is
where
open.
the sun comes up and shit
that's when
too.
you gotta get your business done or whatever. But like, I don't know, dude. I
No, that's why I like editing all late at night, bro. Because that's the hardest thing when you get into a really good flow state where you're just like
People
going and
bother
going and
you.
going. No one's gonna fucking bother you. And when you've got, you know, interruptions and things that, you know, phone calls and people expecting things from you and emails you got to answer and responsibilities you got to tend to, it gets really annoying and you can't like sit down. And that's the unfortunate thing about editing. It's like you can't just knock it out. You know what I mean? It's not like, yeah, just take the 15 minutes and go knock it out. It's not like an email that you got to go write. It's like this thing is going to take like anywhere from like 6 to like 20 hours to make. So
editing is like writing in one sense, and that is the editing and the writing is not the hard part. The hard part is sitting down and making yourself do it.
Yeah.
Like sitting down, distraction free to start to write is one of the most difficult things ever, and it takes a lot of discipline. And I think the same way with editing is like it requires you to kind of like smack yourself on the hand and be disciplined and like sit down and do something that like you maybe necessarily don't want to do. Hey, lunch money video, what's up?
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing about it is with video, it requires all of your attention. So like you can't listen to music really. I mean, you can kind of, but like once you,
I can't.
If you're
write
editing,
with,
you can't do anything. You can't listen to a podcast while you're editing video. It requires all of your senses. You can't distract yourself by doing other things.
Lo-fi hip hop is really good.
You can't, because if you're mixing audio, you can't listen to music. You know what I'm saying? Like you are literally making a video. So
Facts.
you are not only using your hands, but to move the keyboard and mouse, you're using your eyes to look at the screen. You've got to visually see what you're doing, and you've also got to hear what's happening in the video because audio is like the most important aspect of video. So you can't have any other distractions.
Lunch Money is such
Unlike
a good
right
video.
now.
I feel like Lunch Money needs another upload. Like I feel like this video is so missed out. Like people
yeah,
missed
right
a
now I'm
lot.
playing this one video behind me.
Such a good video. It's the Lunch Money Garage video. This is the one that we met on. We've already talked about it. You guys know.
Yeah, I'm like, it's funny because I can only upload backgrounds that are 1080p. So I can't play any of our new videos in the background because all of our old ones are shot in 1080, not 4K.
Dude, watching myself walk like that, I'm jealous. I can't walk like that anymore.
I know, right? I'm playing the why do I use a wheelchair if I can walk video in my background.
Dude, I can't even stand for a few minutes without my body paying for it later. Like, I really got to start doing some physical therapy around here and start, like, I really got to get back into my fitness because, like, I stood up to, like, wash my face and brush my teeth and, like, shave. Or I did something yesterday and, like, last night in the middle of the night, I got the worst pain ever and then had to take, like, a fucking muscle relaxer and an Neurontin and, like, just put an ice pack on the area and, like, massage it with, like, lotion and shit, but it still kept me up all night. Like, fuck, man. Like, that's honestly, no lie, I'm gonna be fucking real for real with y'all. The most thing that I'm afraid of if I catch COVID is the fever. Because the fever, to me, when I get a fever, I get horrific nerve pain. Horrific. And it's like, if I can't, like, keep that temperature down with Tylenol, I'm going to be really sad and really upset. Like, it's going to fuck me up. And, you know, I've been, you know, like, thinking about it, like I probably, because I'm on these blood thinners, wouldn't be able to take Tylenol as frequently as I would like. Like I know it says every 6 hours or whatever, but like to me, when I have a fever, like you guys remember when I was in the hospital, at least Andrew remembers, it comes back every 3 to 4 hours.
I remember.
It comes back every 3 to 4 hours. So I'm just like, I'm terrified of that. I'm terrified of, like, I woke up literally I've checked my temperature twice today because I'm like, this leg hurts so bad. Like, and this reminds me of the nerve pain I get when I catch a fever. And like, that's why I'm being like extra psycho and extra paranoid. It's like,
well, you've already been in the hospital twice this year. It's like, we don't want you to end up in the hospital again.
I don't even want a fucking fever, dude. Like a fever by itself will incapacitate me. Like I will, like
literally.
People don't understand. Like the only people that have experienced it, honestly, is like you and Jalila. Like not a lot of people have experienced it because like usually it hits me at night, and like I'm unable to breathe. Like sometimes I grunt and scream, and like I'll cry. Like it's I whimper. Like me, like this tough motherfucker, right? This tough motherfucker right here is like whimpering and yelping. Like it literally feels like I'm being like punched and electrocuted and stabbed. It's like the fucking worst, dude. And like I'm not gonna talk about it anymore because like I'm kind of freaking myself out about it. But it's that is what I'm the most terrified about.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you find that clip of her saying it's getting real?
Coronavirus.
And can you play it? Like, can we find this clip, please?
We can't play it over the audio because I won't be able to hear it in our mics.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Whatever.
You're connected to the roadcaster.
It's getting really real.
Coronavirus. Good old Cardi B. But yeah, I agree. I think that's and also it's kind of interesting right now. Fulton County, where we live, has now issued a statement saying that if you're going anywhere for any reason, you can get fined like $1,000 or even jail time.
You can go to the doctor, pharmacy, and grocery store.
Well, no, not really. Let me read the specifics of what they say, which is actually hilarious because it's such a non-statement. So the following essential purposes are still protected: activities related to the health of you, a family member, or a pet.
So I get to go outside and exercise. Cool.
Yeah, you can go do exercise because that's related to the health of you and my pet Rock. Activities to get services and supplies.
Yeah, so if you
activities to get services and supplies, which is very vague.
Super vague.
Very vague, let's be honest. We've got outdoor activity. It says outdoor activity. It's still protected as long as people are 6 feet apart, which is out of the reach of droplets that could carry the virus. So as long as you're practicing social distancing, you can go outside. Work for essential businesses. Obviously, if you have if you're working for an essential business, you should have gotten a note from your employer that you can show the police or whatever.
You get a permit, yeah.
Care for someone who's medically fragile, which makes sense.
Aww. So when my mom comes and brings me groceries.
When she brings you the soup.
The soup.
The soup.
I need to make some soup.
When your mom comes and brings the soup. And then activity for essential government function, which makes sense. But it's just funny because activities related to the health of you, activities to get services and supplies, and outdoor activity are still protected. So it's like that kind of still falls under a lot of things that people shouldn't be doing. But like, you know what I mean? It sounds like one of those.
This is what people should do. Stay the fuck inside. But what they're doing is to like scare people into doing what they should be doing, because it's like, oh, you get arrested, you get $5,000, you can go to jail, you get fines, whatever. But I think we live in America, and what that means is like we don't over police things around here, or we don't enforce it, because the scary truth is, and I'm dead ass about this, if the police or the National Reserve or whatever National Guard tried to bring up martial law, do you know how many militias and how many people with guns would gather and just start shooting at cops and just shooting at firefighters and shooting at the police? Like, it would be chaos. I mean, America was founded on saying "fuck you, government" and shooting them with guns. Like that's literally what's going to keep happening, you know. And so that's why like no one wants to live in this police state, and I doubt it's going to be enforced, because they would have to pull everyone over and be like, "What are you doing?" And be like, "I'm going to the grocery store."
Well,
like,
the
what
ultimate way to
I'm going for a walk. Like, what are you doing? You know, like
the ultimate way to enforce anything is with violence, because I mean that's the only way that you can actually force anyone to do anything. You know,
they're doing that in India. They're beating people with sticks. beating people
Yeah,
with
man.
sticks in India.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like, you know, a lot of the privileges we have here, even social distancing, like in places like India that are so overcrowded, you don't even have the privilege and right to be 6 feet apart from people because people are so crowded, even in their own homes and shit.
A lot of people don't even have an inside. Like, think about that. Like, a lot of people, like, especially in, well, it depends on what part of India, but yeah.
Well, even just homeless people here.
Yeah, I've been seeing so on the 13th, which is when I started like isolating, quarantining, I started to notice like homeless people everywhere, and I'm like,
Ooh.
oh, it's probably because they can't go to shelters because there's a lot of people there. They're roaming around on the streets, and no one wants to get close to them and help them. And it's like, and they're like, they don't have any income because they can't panhandle because there's no one around to panhandle. Like, it's a very weird time, I think, to be homeless. Like, it's got to be very interesting.
Yeah, and basically, it's pretty funny because our friend Will Foskey that I did a podcast with a while ago, he put out this joke recently that said, how do they expect all these idiots to follow these new rules? All the laws have new stepdad vibes. Mm-hmm. You must stay at home unless you want to play with your dog or do whatever. You like me, right? And it's like these rules that are like, they're very permanent, but then like, still do whatever you want. But don't break my rules. But you still like me, right? I'm not gonna actually punish you. It's like when your mom counts to 3 and you know nothing's gonna happen after she says 3. You know, it's like, you better stop. I'm gonna count to 3. I'm gonna count to 3. What happens after 3?
What happens after 3?
We're at the post office, Mom. What are you gonna do?
I knew someone that was like, if I reach 4, that means that's how many weeks you're grounded. And if I hit 5, they're like 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, like or days, or like all right, grounded for 4 days. Like they would find a way. It's like the higher I count, the more punishment is for you.
Yeah, my friend's mom, she used to like charge him like money, like she used to charge him like based on how many, like if she counted, she was like every number was like 10 cents, but to like,
didn't you have like a
10 cents
like
was like a lot.
Burp jar or something your mom made you pay?
Yeah, my mom had all kinds of funny stuff like that. She had like a burp jar, like if I burped I had to like pay money or something. She also had coupons for screen time. So if I was a good kid or whatever, did my chores, I'd get like a coupon for 30 minutes of screen time.
That sounds like something my mom would do too. You and I's moms are very similar.
Yeah, well, I was homeschooled too, so it's like kind of similar thing. Your mom's gotta get creative.
Speaking of which, after that article was read and I read it and they painted us in such like a beautiful light, I got really like reminiscent of like our past and where we came from, and we've got a unique thing because it's like we've got 3 of your podcasts plus 40 of our podcasts plus other podcasts we've been on. So we can go back in the timeline, or at least I've been doing that, and like listening to like old stuff and like thinking about like where our minds were and what we were doing and like things we were thinking about and strategies we're going to take. And like, it's so fucking interesting to like look back at where we came from, like all the way through. It's wild, man. Cause I listened to like, Randall's podcast that he sent me the file. And then, I listened
to, which is crazy because that was like when we were at like 2,000 subscribers or something.
Yeah, 2,700 or something like that. And then I think about, like your podcast, like episode 47, and, then I don't know. It's just I'm getting really reminiscent because it's like I'm really proud of where we've come. I'm really proud of what we accomplished. Like we're doing like what we set out to do in a very like dope way.
And we were pretty cocky about it. We knew we were going to do it.
I don't think cocky's the right word, man. I think we were just confident. I think we knew. I think we just called our shots,
we
man.
Knew what we were going to do.
We're still doing that, and I think it's kind of like people might take it as a dickhead move, but like we're still calling shots. Like, like in the post that I put up, like be like, hey, thank you so much for everyone who, like I was being really grateful and thinking so much about like what that magazine article meant to me, and I just made a post like on Instagram about it, and like in there I was saying like, hey, if you're worried about your business surviving, like link up with us, like we can make some stuff happen. And like people might take that as like really cocky and really arrogant, be like, who is this unproven person that like thinks they know what they're talking about, who's just gonna like storm their way into this industry and be a loudmouth, like who the fuck does this guy think he is? But it's like, I know what we're capable of. You know, like I know I
For
got
sure.
I got a solid team behind me. Like I got good resources. Like I'm not scared, you know, and there's no, I think what I'm learning is there's a lot of politics, like a ton of like you know, incestuous politics. So it's like
Intergalactic.
it keeps people from working with other people, and it keeps people from doing this and doing that, and no one wants to collaborate with this person, and no one likes this person. It's like, and I show up and I'm like, hey, I'll talk to anyone and everyone about anything. Like, do you have a good product? Like, let's go.
For sure. For sure.
Oh,
Feel like that's a good
all right,
place to
we're gonna
wrap
go
things
ahead
up.
and wrap it up. Any last words, Andrew?
I've got an OnlyFans that you can go follow.
Yeah. So go.
I'm just kidding.
If
In
you're
my bio,
already-
I have an OnlyFans, so
Yeah, if you're
you
already
can see
if
my
you-
feet pics and all that kind of stuff.
If you haven't gone to Andrew's page to look at his grid, you need to go for his OnlyFans. That's
Go to my
definitely
Instagram and follow me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Merch is still available, obviously. Temporary merch. Go buy it now. We're going to have a new deal coming out pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. But that's pretty much it. Anything else, Richard?
No, shopwheelswalking.com.
And read the new mobility ad, or read the new mobility article. It's linked
Yeah.
in Richard's bio.
Ooh, and I asked you this last week, and I'm going to ask you again right now. Tell your friends. Tell your friends with your mouth. Like, call them, text them, mention to it on FaceTime. They're bored. They have the time to consume new stuff. People are even running out of Netflix, for crying out loud. People are going, what's left on Netflix? I've watched everything. Well, tell them that there's a podcast they can go listen to that you really like, and show them how to download it, show them how to get it on Spotify or on their phone or on their computer or whatever, because you guys did that last week and we saw some numbers go up, and you know, you guys are keeping us alive, and we just say thank you. Like, just let everybody know.
True that.
All right, cool. Follow us on places.
Follow us on places, everyone. See you later.
Out.